David here with Btekt, welcome. Make sure you hit subscribe, smash the like button, and let's go. And make sure you go and check the link below because it's the new Btekt Amazon shop, and that's where I'll be uploading my recommendations for the best accessories for phones, so go and check it out. So this time I want to talk about some of the phones that I saw at IFA, specifically the Nokia phones, because they've released 3 feature phones and 2 smartphones. The smartphones are the Nokia 6.2 and the Nokia 7.2, and judging from social media and things that you guys have been saying, you are really interested in these new devices. They're mid-range phones, but they both have this circular camera module, which I think we're going to see more and more of in the coming year. But first impressions were quite good. I think they could have maybe spent a little bit more time refining the way it looks. The circular camera module just kind of looks like they've just slapped it on there. And yeah, it's okay, it looks nice. I think some people will like it. Me, I think they could have just spent a little bit more time just with that, just refining the design. But these are decent phones. Being Nokia phones, they're both going to be running Android One. So that means 2 years of system updates. So eventually these handsets will be upgraded to whatever Android 12 will be called. And 3 years of security updates, which makes the Nokia handsets some of the most secure handsets that you can buy. Before we go on, I need to say a big thank you to Direct Mobiles, 24 years of award-winning customer service. You need to go and check them out if you need a new phone because you can compare all the available deals with all of the UK networks. Check in the video description below for their link or search directmobiles.co.uk. So what's the difference between the 6.2 and the 7.2? Well, the 7.2 is going to have the 48 megapixel Sony IMX sensor, which is in so many smartphones these days, but this is the first time that it's made it into a Nokia handset. But also it's going to have Zeiss lenses. The 6.2 won't have the Zeiss lenses. Yet Nokia had quite a small stand at IFA this year, yet they released more devices than anybody else. Well, phones than anybody else. Now, Nokia phones, in my experience of the recent Nokia phones, especially the ones with Zeiss lenses, they do perform really well. So this new one with this 48 megapixel sensor, I'm really hoping it is going to be, compete with some of the best out there. I noticed in the time that I had hands-on with these devices, the one with the Zeiss lenses, at least the 7.2, that was taking some really good pictures. And you can just tell straight away that this has got quite a good camera on it. These are mid-range phones, remember, and they're actually really well equipped. Both the 6.2 and the 7.2 have got 6.4-inch displays, dewdrop style notches, quite a bit of a smaller chin than the previous 7.1. I always thought that device had a weird combination. It had a huge notch, similar to the Pixel 3 bathtub style notch, but then it also had quite a bit of a chin at the bottom, so it made it look just a little bit weird, like the notch was just not necessary basically. This time they've gone with a dewdrop style notch on both of them, and the display tech is actually really good on these devices. They can both upscale content that's shown on them to HDR. The Pixelworks image processor upgrades the color from 17 million shades to over 1 billion shades, and it gives you a great viewing experience. They're both running the energy efficient Qualcomm Snapdragon 636 processor. The real main difference between the 6.2 and the 7.2 is the camera. The 7.2 uses the 48 megapixel main sensor, an 8 megapixel ultra wide, and a 5 megapixel for depth sensing. Unlike the 6.2, it also has Zeiss lenses, and it really does produce very good images. So 2 quite interesting devices. I kind of don't see the point in the 6.2 if I'm honest. It's just a 7.2 but with worse cameras, and if you consider the price of the 7.2, which is around about €300 or around about £300, then it kind of, what's the point in the 6.2? You might as well just pay a little bit extra and get the better phone. The other 3 devices released from Nokia this year are much more affordable feature phones. 4G capable devices that run on the Kai OS. These are the military-grade Nokia 800 Tough, the reimagined Nokia 2720 Flip, and the ultra-affordable Nokia 110. The 800 Tough is designed to be taken with you if you're going into extreme environments, maybe if you're going hiking, mountain climbing, something that where you don't want to take your really expensive smartphone. The 800 Tough is the one to go for. It's got IP68 water and dust resistance rating, has an amazing 43 days standby time. That is really something. And it's also fitted with quite a powerful torch that has a brightness of 198 lumens. The 2720 Flip lets you see the caller ID on the outer 1.3-inch screen, while navigating the phone is done with the main 2.8-inch QVGA display. It also has large buttons as well as a 28-day standby time. 28 days is huge for a standby time, but it kind of pales into insignificance when compared to the 800 Tough. And the last device is the super affordable Nokia 110. It still has an 18-day standby time and up to 14 hours of talk time from its 800 mAh battery, and it's got actually quite a generous 4 GB of RAM. This is a great one if you was looking for a really cheap phone, almost a disposable phone, you know, something that you could just keep in your rucksack or keep in your car just in case your main phone runs out of battery, or if you're going somewhere where you don't want to take your main really expensive ultra premium flagship. Something that you can just maybe even give to a youngster, maybe a 10-year-old, a 12-year-old, someone who's just kind of learning about phones. But you don't want them to have the full access to the internet, but you still want them to be able to access the main sites and be contactable. Yeah, these feature phones aren't for everybody. Most of us just want the best possible smartphone we can get, preferably a flagship. But what we forget is that there is a huge market for these devices. Not everybody is able to pay hundreds and hundreds of pounds for their smartphone, or some of us don't even want to pay that much. Some people just want a phone, and these feature phones do that very well. They're just phones. When it comes to the 7.2, I'm a bit disappointed with it. All right, I'll be honest. It's a nice device and all of that, but this is the successor to the Nokia 7.1, which was the successor to the Nokia 7 Plus. Now, the Nokia 7 Plus was one great smartphone. Unibody design, there was no glass on the back to break or anything like that. It was a tough phone. I think it used that 7000 series aluminium, and it had a rubber back. And that was Android One as well, so the software will always be kept up to date. That is one really good device, nice and big. If you haven't seen my review on it, then I will leave a link in the video description below. But I just wish that they had carried on that particular line. With the unibody design, with the grippy rubber back, the nice big size screen as well. To me, that was an excellent phone, and I kind of wish that they just evolved that design and the 7.2 would, resemble that smartphone, but it doesn't. It's just when they released the 7.1, it just seemed like they were just following the crowd. Basically, they put a notch in it, they made it glass back. They sort of moved away from the 7 Plus, which in my mind is or was one of the best smartphones from Nokia in recent times. Well, there you go. That's just my 2 pence worth. Anyway, that's it from me. Thank you for watching. Yeah, it's a new style we got going on here at Btekt, and I really do appreciate the feedback that I'm getting from you guys, good and bad. So please keep it coming. Any suggestions on how to improve Btekt, then let me know in the comments below. And of course, make sure you smash the like button, leave me a comment, and subscribe for more. And don't forget to follow me on social media. Facebook, Instagram and Twitter is at Btekt. And I will see you next time.